All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another another back testing session on NAS100. So I just actually made some money off of this drop here. All right, so I'm going to show you guys exactly how I got to that point, and then I'm going to actually show you guys exactly how price got to the point of how much I made. So I'm going to actually move the back testing all the way back to here. All right. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to erase everything on the chart. So let me erase everything on the chart so everything is naked, turn off all my indicators, and then I'm going to start from the beginning all the way to the end to where I got to where I need to go. Let me turn the auto save off. All right. So now, of course, I'm going to put here back testing here was somewhere right here. All right. So basically what I did was, first thing I did was mark a market structure from the 15-minute to the 4-hour time frame. All right. Now, then once I did that, I went back to the 15-minute. Then I located market structure, figured out exactly what range or what trend was forming with the market. And then I located market structure and figured out exactly where price was resisting or supporting against the zones. And then I located order blocks and imbalances. And then confirm my entry with the yellow and red EMA cross on the Delorean EMA indicator. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I go all the way back in the past, right? Let me pause this recording until I get to the beginning. Be right back. All right, so we're at the beginning. All right, so now what I did was I basically marked up market structure. All right, so we're going to make this yellow. There's all the necessary key areas. Right. Key areas like this. I kind of went up to here. And then right up to here. Now, once I marked these up, then I started drawing my supply and demand zones from the body of the candle to the wick, okay? All right, so then I made this yellow. So let's see, I got this top one here. Let me see, I did that. Okay, so I didn't get that yet. So yeah. So then I'm going to go ahead and start changing the coordinates to these zones, and then we're going to go on ahead to the 30-minute. So I marked up everything. Let's see, did I know there's one left here. You know what, I can just take this out. All right. So now we marked up everything. So we're going to go to the 30-minute and do the same exact thing. All right. So took my horizontal line. This is going to represent the 30-minute. So basically I put one there. So I'll make this the 4-hour or horizontal lines. So a lot in this area. Let's see, yeah. Actually, this would be better if I brought it up to here. And then possibly put another one right up in this area here. Yeah, that's more appropriate. All right, and then put one up there. All right, so now we're going to mark up our zones. Green. So actually, I'm going to move this here. Oops. Hard time moving this daggone thing. Do this here. There you go. Trying to move it right here. All right, so I'm gonna put one there. Boom, right there. Right there. All right, so now we're going to change the coordinates to all these zones. So we're basically just changing these zones so that way, you know, we can identify supply demand zones and see how price actually interacts with these zones, how it supports and resists. All right, so we're gonna go ahead to 1 hour now. Change this to red. And we're just gonna move it up to the next point, which I believe is gonna be right here. Yep. And then let's see. Then we have another one. Right in this area. Then another one up in this area. Up in that area. So now we're going to mark up the zones off of here. Off of this area. Actually, I need to change these to red. All right. So then I'm going to change the coordinates to these. All right. All right. So now we marked that for the 1 hour. So then we're going to go to the 4 hour. And as you can see, marked up everything all the way into current price. And that's what I did. So now we're going to go back to the 15-minute. All right. And this is what I have marked up. So now, let me pause this recording. I'll be right back. All right. So then at this point, so what I basically did was the very next step was actually identifying the trend on the 15-minute time frame. So what I noticed in this area here is that price was resisted at least 3 times. So I noticed that more likely this was a supply zone of resistance. So what I did was I basically turned on my higher high and lower low strategy indicator. And basically I took some horizontal lines. I noticed that price hit this high once, and hit it again. So usually when price hits a certain point at least 2 to 3 times, then that means it's resisting, and more likely it's going to probably sell. If price hits support at least 2 to 3 times, then that means it's probably going to buy up more than likely. So what I did was I took 2 horizontal lines and I made one the demand zone, which is an order block, because I figured there's an order block in that area. And then I also put one here. And this was a demand zone. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be the demand zone. right here at the bottom here. And this is going to be our supply zone. Okay. So then what I started to look for was, I said to myself, I said, okay, so price is resisted this at least 1, 2 to 3 times. So I'm actually looking for price to actually trend on down and actually break this structure. I probably put it here. So that way, if price wants to break below this structure and sell, it will. If it wants to break above this and retest and goes up, then it's going to buy. So that was my mindset there. So then the next thing I did is I kind of zoomed in a little bit. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can actually see this price. So then the very next thing I did was I turned this off since I got market structure built here. So then I turned on my order block indicator. So I noticed that there was a lot of imbalance in this area. So I said to myself, I said, price is probably going to maybe, possibly shoot up and correct this imbalance and then maybe sell and fill in this imbalance and maybe fill in this imbalance and then ultimately push price up to create a new all-time high, make price overbought, and then sell price down to where it can cover all these imbalances down here. So what I'm going to do is now is I'm going to actually go back and show what I've drawn up. So let me go back here. So I'm going to go all the way back to where I had everything marked up. Like the current price and do it again. Let me pause this recording until I get this done. Be right back. All right, so now I'm back to where I actually started. So now, as you can see, I have my Delorean EMA indicator on, and then of course my order block indicator. So then what I basically did was, you can see where I had everything marked up. My supply demand is a zone here that I had drawn before to match up with this high as the order block. And then I had the other one, I want to say it was right here. Yeah, this is where I had this marked up here. Okay. And this was the demand zone, like I just showed you guys. So let's see, demand zone. All right. So then basically what I did afterwards, and of course, remember, I turned on my order block indicator. So remember, we had an imbalance in this area. You can kind of see it. So then my thought process was, they're either going to, this was an imbalance candle, so they're either going to fill this up and then ultimately drop price down to fill this imbalance that this candle created, and then ultimately hit this imbalance and then buy price up to actually fill all this imbalance that this created, and then possibly buy price up to create a new all-time high. So that way price is considered overbought, and then it's going to create more momentum to sell price all the way down to here, possibly to this very next zone here. So that's what I looked for. So then the next thing I did was I went ahead and turned on my Delorean EMA indicator. And so at this point, really, I believe I had started here, or at least when I got on the charts this morning, I believe that price was already starting to actually trend down already close to this point. So then the doji appeared and then price started dropping, but I didn't necessarily get in yet, just for the simple fact because price was retracing and pushing back. And then eventually price did push back. So I wanted to wait for the next candle to close below because this was my entry point right around here. So I waited for the next close below. So let's see how price played out and how I won this trade. All right. So let me zoom in and then we'll see what happens. So the next candle closed below here, and I still kind of waited because price formed a doji and there was a lot of wicks on both sides of this candle. So I still waited. Then price instantly drops and it actually hit my first take profit. So again, I entered, sure, let me do this again. Let's see. So I think I entered somewhere down here because I kind of missed my entry because price went down very quickly. But that's what price did. So price came down to here. I believe I entered the market, I want to say maybe right here, a little bit below because I kind of caught my entry late. But price trended down and it hit our first take profit. Okay. Now, I believe after that, then that's when price started actually dropping a little bit harder, and it actually hit even further down to this zone here. So it was a very good drop. Now, what's probably going to happen is they're probably going to drop price even further. Well, they possibly, because they really filled in all of this imbalance in here. So they're probably going to make price a little bit, maybe they might bring price down a little bit more just to kind of make it oversold, or they might just actually bring price back all the way up to fill all this imbalance that this candle created now. Like we have a gray here, so there's imbalance here. So they're probably going to do that. But we won this trade. So I'm going to actually show you guys proof that I won it. So give me a second here. All right. So as you can see, this is the same drop that I caught. And this is when I actually got out the market before I even filled that imbalance and even dropped further. And I made $58 off of this. I'm starting off small, so that way when I start trading live, I can start trading NAS at a 0.04 and then work it up to where it's at, $20 per pip, which is 0.20. So that way I can make up to $250 or more a day. But that's proof right there that we actually won that trade. And then this is when I got alerted to where price actually hit my take profit area as well. So you can see it's still the same trade. So we actually did good on this trade. So that's exactly how I initiated this process. So I'll see you guys in the next backtesting session. Take care. Bye.